Hello, dear viewers. Today I'm going to be talking about the declaration of martial law in South Korea. Let's begin. Hello, welcome to Global Nationalism. I support nationalism in my country, India, and in all countries around the globe. Today I'm going to be talking about a historical event, which is the declaration of martial law in South Korea. In this video, I want to discuss the reasons why the president declared martial law and uh, just see if there is any validity to his reasons. Now, I am not saying that he was justified, or neither am I saying that he is not justified. I'm just try to understand his point of view. And I just want to make a disclaimer that I do not live in South Korea. I do not have South Korean citizenship, so I have no say in this issue or South Korean politics in general. And I have only good wishes for the nation and people of South Korea and do not want to interfere in their affairs. With that out of the way, let's get started. The speech of President Yoon's speech for declaring martial law, President Yoon Suk Yeol, he says that since the inauguration of his government, which was in the year 2022, the National Assembly has initiated 22 impeachment motions against government officials, and since the inauguration of the 22nd National Assembly in June, it is pushing for the impeachment of 10 more. This is a situation that is not only unprecedented in any country in the world, but has never been seen since the founding of our country. But impeachment is an issue his government has faced, and the 22nd National Assembly was elected in June this year, 2024. And he says these impeachments are by the National Assembly, which is ruled by the opposition party, the Democratic Party of South Korea. He says it is paralyzing the judiciary by intimidating judges and impeaching a number of prosecutors. And they have tried to impeach the Minister of the Interior, the Chairman of the Communications Commission, and others. That he is basically saying and implying that these are unjustified impeachments. Now, let's look at the impeachment of the Minister of the Interior. Here, there was a crowd crush in Halloween celebrations in Itaewon in South Korea, and South Korea's interior minister was impeached over this. The National Assembly held him responsible. Miss Say the Interior Safety Minister Lee Sung Min was held responsible, impeached. So this was a particularly rare impeachment because actually it's the first time a cabinet member has been impeached uh, by any by the National Assemblies. And although they have impeached the previous president in 2016, who was a conservative president, and the Constitutional Court removed her from office and she was imprisoned for corruption before her liberal successor pardoned her in December 2021. So this shows that if the Constitutional Court believes that uh, the person impeached did commit illegal acts, they will punish them. They're not going to be soft on them, which makes their decision curious in this case because the Constitutional Court of South Korea rejected the impeachment of Safety Minister over Itaewon tragedy. They said he did not violate any laws in responding to the deadly crowd crush, which sadly killed 159 people. All nine Constitutional Court judges dismissed the National Assembly's motion to impeach the Safety Minister. So we can see that the president's claim that these impeachments are unlawful has some validity. Now let's. He says that the handling of the national budget undermines the essential functions of the state. South Korea's National Assembly Speaker Woo Won-shik deferred a Democratic Party-led budget bill for 2025 during Monday's session, citing a lack of bipartisan agreement. The DP's proposal, passed unilaterally in November 29th committee vote, seeks to cut approximately 2.9 billion uh, dollars, which is 4.1 trillion won, the South Korean currency, from the government's $482 billion budget. And targeted reductions include special activity funds, which I don't, for the presidential office, prosecution and police, as well as having the contingency reserve fund. The ruling People Power Party has condemned the cuts as politically motivated. So he's right about budget cuts, that there is an impasse in the passing of budgets by his government. That's and so that would economically hurt South Korea. He also says that members of the opposition who are supporting North Korea, they are North Korea's communist forces, and he says that this declaration is to eliminate anti-state elements. And I simply could not find any evidence that there were uh, North Korea communist forces within the opposition or the government at large. I can't say whether that's true or not. Now let's me show you what some other uh, South Korean politicians have said. Most politicians berated President Yoon Suk Yeol for an unconstitutional illegal declaration of martial law, but a handful of conservative politicians expressed their support. The former, a member of the ruling People Power Party, and the former Prime Minister under ex-President Park Geun-hye supported the president's move. This former Prime Minister is named Hwang Kyo-an. He wrote in a Facebook post that the ruling party should join the president in what he claimed was an action to wipe out anti-state forces. He said, to arrest the National Assembly Speaker Won-shik and arrest People Power Party leader Han Dong-hoon, who is openly hindering the presidential measures. In his latest post written Wednesday afternoon, he said he believes the president to have chosen martial law in a situation where the pro-North forces were bringing down the country. So we can see that uh, many conservative politicians do support the president's martial law declaration. A Busan city councilman, Park Jong-chil, was more explicit. He wrote that he actively supports and sympathizes with the declaration of martial law. And he said that pro North Korean spies should be weeded out. And yeah, so we can see that there is support. And there's an interesting thing that was mentioned by the former prime minister. He said that the opposition majority in the National Assembly is a fake number based on the claims that the parliamentary elections were rigged. The martial law declaration, armed troops raided the National Election Commission headquarters and some of its satellite offices and confiscated civil servants' phones. Troops were also deployed in front of a building where Kim Oh-jun, a YouTuber critical of Yoon and a former radio host, created his videos. And Kim Yong-hyun, the defense minister, stated he deployed troops in the National Election Commission to determine the need for an investigation into the Commission's alleged election fraud, which was echoed by far-right YouTubers. Not sure if this declaration was correct. In my heart, I disagree with it in my own opinion, as a political person. I am against martial law. I believe that people's rights should be respected by the government and protected, and that political disagreements should be dealt with democratically, and that ideally the president should have uh, made these accusations against the opposition a campaign issue for the future 2027 election. And now I must say that I am sympathetic to him since, like me, he is a conservative. And I believe he is a nationalist. He seems like a nationalist, but I'm not sure. But I do think that while his accusations may against the opposition maybe are valid, they have some validity. I don't think they justify martial law. And I think now that martial law has been withdrawn by him and opposed successfully by the opposition, it has made his position as president untenable. He may have to be impeached or resign, which will hurt the ability of his People's Power Party to win the 2027 presidential election, and which will bring the Democratic Party back into power, which will, I think, not be good for South Korea. But again, it depends on the majority that they have in the assembly. Is the former prime minister's claims that the elections was rigged true? And many other South Koreans who are right wingers also on YouTube also claim it was rigged. And so I'm not saying it is. I don't know anything about South Korea's elections, so I can't say yes or no. And the police did investigate it and didn't find any evidence, but it seems many people are still skeptical. So I hope that the law enforcement and the government and judiciary can find some resolution to this controversy that will satisfy South Koreans. And ultimately, though, I just want peace within South Korea, and I hope that North Korea and South Korea can have a peaceful relationship, and I hope that there's no future war that'll happen, and that there will be uh, congeniality and good relations between both of the countries on the Korean Peninsula. And yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Please share your thoughts in the comment section. If you want to see other videos about major historical events, click here. If you want to see my previous video, click here. If you want to see the sources I use for this video, click the links in the description below. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.